I'm talking too much at this point. I had a couple too many beers. I haven't had a beer since February. So to have a beer right now and come talk to you guys, it feels great.
Hasn't had a beer since February. I can't say the same. The taste of victory, objectionable when accompanied by cheap air, at least for Kevin Durant. The celebration, no doubt, still raging in the Bay Area. The parade for the Warriors is set for Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Hey there, welcome to SI Now. It is Wednesday, it's June 14th, and I'm Maggie Gray. Joining me today, once again, so honored to have Mark Melissa, my co-host from the Moose and Maggie show on CBS Sports Radio. We're on Saturday mornings. All right, we've had a day to digest the NBA Finals, and it looks like outside of Golden State, still Kevin Durant is getting a lot of blowback and still getting this moniker of ring chaser. Moose, reputations are very hard to change in the NBA. What will it take for Durant to be seen on his own as a champion, finals MVP, and not be seen as a tag-along?
Well, to keep winning. I mean, honestly, that's really... Did LeBron James change that down in Miami? He went to 4 straight NBA Finals, won 2 of them. After the loss to the Mavericks, did he go out there and change it starting year 2 when he finally won that championship? That'll end, and people forget about what happened in the past, right? We've all been down this road before. We all said that there was no coming back for LeBron James, and he rebuilt his reputation. So there is a path, there is a way for Kevin Durant to come back, and he's got to go out there and be the fuel to that engine for the Golden State Warriors, Maggie.
I think that he can change the narrative, but he has to encounter some adversity and overcome it. I mean, that's one thing that we love about sports. We love underdog stories, which the Warriors are very far from, but we like people who have to be challenged as they climb the mountaintop. And for Durant and the Warriors, I think on the outside, it just looked too easy. And when you have a coach like Steve Kerr saying, well, we really didn't have to work too hard to get Kevin Durant into the lineup seamlessly, it almost, I don't want to say takes away from the accomplishment, but it made it seem like they did not have any adversity to encounter and that this was sort of not handed to them. But
well, you got to earn it.
Yeah, it seemed like they earned it, but they just had no challengers.
Well, listen, I mean, they are the best team in the league.
Sure.
I mean, and once Durant made that decision last July 4th, I mean, you pretty much wrote it down that they were going to win the NBA championship, and they followed through unless some sort of injury did take place. But when you look at Durant individually, what can he go out there and do? Be brilliant. I mean, it was not that long ago, 2012, that LeBron James basically said Kevin Durant was his biggest challenge in the NBA. It took him a while to get here. He was brilliant in the NBA Finals. He finished game strong, had the game-winning shot in Game 3. If he goes out there and continues to show his way as an individual player, Maggie, everything else goes away. All the accolades continue to come. They go out there and continue to win. He may be his MVP of the league moving forward. Who knows what the future is? He's only 28 years of age. It's all still in front of him. And finally, he has the pressure off of his shoulders of winning a ring.
Okay, we're obviously streaming on Facebook Live. You guys are commenting. Here's one that comes in from Rod who says, go back to OKC and win. That's the same thing that LeBron did. Does he? And first of all, does he have to go back to OKC? Could he also go to Washington, D.C., his hometown?
Does
he have to leave Golden State?
No, he doesn't. He's not leaving, right? Because
why would he?
Why would he? There is not that draw to Oklahoma City like there was for LeBron James going back to Cleveland because LeBron had the unfinished business. And he looked at Miami as his college years. So he felt like he let the entire city, Akron, Cleveland, the entire state of Ohio down when he initially left. And he had that pressure. He eventually wanted to come back, and you started to hear those rumors down in Miami final 2 years when he was a member of the Heat. Kevin Durant's happy. He's happy in Golden State. He's happy playing with Curry and Thompson and Draymond Green and for Steve Kerr. This is not a case of where he feels like he has unfinished business in Oklahoma City. He made that decision last year, that tremendous piece this week by Lee Jenkins and SI. He made that decision, Maggie, that night after the Warriors had lost, when Draymond Green texted him, sitting in that locker room after the Cavs are celebrating, and said, you know what, we need you. And he said, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do this. And also, listen, Durant made a conscious decision. He doesn't want to play with Russell Westbrook anymore. So if Westbrook signs an extension and stays in OKC for the long term, Durant's not going to go back.
No,
that's crazy.
No. Next Thursday night, NBA draft, and that means the balls come back into our focus. In case you didn't have much to do and have about $60 to throw away, a LaVar Ball trading card can be bought on eBay today, starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern Time. $59.95. Interested?
Absolutely not. What would I do? I have so many better
He'll
things.
sign it for you,
to buy
Maggie.
for $6. No, he's doing his signature phrases that are going to be on each of these cards. Like, I need to see, you know, if you're not a big baller, if you can't afford $495 shoes, I'm good. I'm going to keep my shoes, my own shoes on my own feet. I'm going to use that $60 towards my next pair of non-big baller shoes.
Honestly, I'd rather light it on fire.
I
than
just
spending
I
60
think
bucks
that
on
might
a
be
LaVar
illegal
Ball.
in this country. You can't light money on fire, but you can buy
Put the
this card.
legalities aside. I
Yeah.
understand that. Maybe I just got myself into trouble, but I have no interest. I would have no interest in a LaVar Ball trading card. 20 years from now, my son would be like, why do we have this?
Yeah, thanks for nothing, Dad.
Right, why do we have this?
Yeah.
All right, how about Lonzo and LaVar Ball? They were both on Jimmy Kimmel Monday night. And Maggie, they just cannot help themselves. Let's take a look.
You said you could beat Michael Jordan
Yes.
one-on-one. Is that just, are you?
No, you know it's real, too. He's too small. He's too little. If you're weighing 210 pounds,
Right.
we playing one-on-one.
Yeah.
You know I'm undefeated one-on-one. I don't never lose one-on-one.
Did you ever play Michael Jordan?
If he played me, he'd cry.
Could you beat Michael Jordan? I'm not talking about in his prime. I'm talking about now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You could beat Michael Jordan right now. Your father doesn't think so.
What you mean I don't think so? Oh, I don't know. I'm looking at that look like he better not say he can't beat.
Maggie, they can't help themselves. They just cannot help themselves. Who would you rather see play Michael Jordan, LaVar or Lonzo?
Well, Lonzo, clearly, because I don't care about LaVar's basketball playing days. I don't really care about much, actually, about LaVar. Interested to see where Big Baller Brand goes, but just really for the novelty of it. How about, I think Big Baller Brand, though, should stick with the active wear, because that tie looks like he's, you know, playing like backup keyboard in some airport lounge, you know,
Right.
cover band. That's not a good tie.
No, it's not
a good
tie.
look
the
right
thin
there.
look, right? No, not a good tie. And listen, I want LaVar on the court with Michael Jordan because you need someone at some point in time to shut him up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Because I get what he's doing in building the brand. The idea, though, of him and even Lonzo. The idea that Lonzo's going to step on the court at this stage, even against a 50-plus-year-old Michael Jordan, Jordan's going to win that game. There is no more competitive athlete in the world than Michael Jordan.
Well, they always say, too, the shot's the last thing to go.
Yes.
You know, so even Jordan at 50-plus, if he's, you know, got knees, he's got back issues, who knows? You know, he's an ex-athlete, but the shot never goes anywhere.
No, how about Lonzo when you look at him right now? Initial workout with the Lakers, reportedly, Maggie, not so great. Going to have a second look, Magic and the Lakers will. Good or bad sign for Lonzo?
Well, the reason why I think this is potentially a good sign for Lonzo is they could be giving him sort of a makeup day. Because if they were worried about his cardio, if they were worried about his stamina, him making that transition from college
Right.
to the pros, they're essentially giving him another shot here. Maybe they left some unfinished business. Maybe they want to see him playing 2-on-2, 1-on-2. They want him working out with other guys as opposed to just doing the 1-on-0, the single workout. I think if I'm Lonzo, it's a good sign that they want to bring you back in, but it looks like now you need to deliver, and you can't have any negative headlines coming out of this workout.
Yeah, I think you nailed it because I think it's a good sign that they're willing to give him a second look. It's a bad sign because he didn't initially go out there and impress him because if he did, and there was no doubt about it, they wouldn't be working him out for a second time. So the Lakers have got some questions that they need to be answered before they make that second overall pick, with Fultz expected to be the top overall pick. Now it's interesting when you look at it. Ball, right?
Yeah.
Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox. You're sitting there second overall, Maggie. Where are you going?
I'm actually going with Josh Jackson on this one. If you think that D'Angelo Russell is your future, then maybe you think that Julius Randle is actually your better trade chip. We saw Randle. He looks absolutely shredded, posting before and after photos. Maybe they think that Josh Jackson is going to be the best use of their pick there. And, you know, I'm just thinking, I know that Lonzo's got the great leadership skills
Right.
and things like that, but I think if the Lakers are really looking at Paul George wanting to come over, they're going to be able to fill that leadership role with a guy like George, who's a veteran, Team USA, all of that stuff. And maybe they think they can get more Julius Randle would be the better option to offer the Indiana Pacers than anyone else.
Yeah, you know what? I'd go Fox. You know, and I understand they've got Russell there. I don't think they're enamored with Russell, right? I think, and they'd probably use him as a trade piece if they went out there and made De'Aaron Fox the second overall pick. he's a freaky athlete. And you can't teach speed. Speed kills all day. Say it after me. I mean, you can repeat that, and that is exactly what he has, and it is unteachable. The foot speed, the athleticism he has, 6'6" wingspan. I know he's lefty. I know it's a little bit of a concern, his outside shot. To me, De'Aaron Fox is a guy that go out there and set the tempo for my franchise moving forward. You saw it his initial freshman year for Calipari in Kentucky. That would, to me, be the second overall pick. He's going to be a better player than Lonzo Ball.
Well, we found out that De'Aaron Fox also not afraid to really share his mind. We spent some time with him in Los Angeles and got to really know De'Aaron Fox. Watch this.
How about that kid? How about this matchup tonight? Fox and Ball. Fox has come to play against Ball.
And that young man, Lonzo Ball, just not enough here tonight against De'Aaron Fox and the Wildcats.
What was your mindset going into that?
Shut LaVar Ball up. Not the only reason, but there's a lot of reasons that I tried to have a big game. And last year, he just became somewhat relevant for some reason. Even when I knew Lonzo in high school, I never seen his dad before.
I never heard of it. Yeah, his dad never talked.
He just went crazy this year.
Yeah.
Guess when your son a lottery pick, they give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah. I say ball at the end. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable that
See,
you
that's what
guys
I'm talking about.
started your own shoe company.
Yes.
I kind of like what LaVar Ball doing as far as we're going to do it our own way. We're going to blaze our own path. But just the comments, that left field comments.
His way is just talking.
Yeah, he put a chip on him.
Bad for Lonzo.
He put a target on his neck, not his back.
Infrared beam.
He got a target right here.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be all right, though.
No, he's gonna be good. But his first year in the league is about to be extremely tough.
Love De'Aaron Fox,
Love
and that is going to turn into a great rivalry. I have a chance. You can watch the rest of our feature on Fox. It's going to air on tomorrow's show. I encourage you all to check it out. It's not often, Moose, that a football kicker from the American Athletic Conference makes news, but it's clear that Donald De La Haye is not your ordinary athlete. No, he's a kicker for the University of Central Florida, and he has a popular YouTube channel with over 55,000 subscribers.
Crazy.
Here's a little of what you can find on De La Haye's YouTube channel. It's probably not legal to drive with your feet, even if you are a Division I kicker, but it's really entertaining. The success on YouTube means you can make money from ads sold against the video, so that is a violation of NCAA rules. Here is the NCAA bylaw. It's 12.4.4. It states an athlete may establish his or her own business provided the student athlete's name, photograph, appearance, or athletics reputation are not used to promote the business. Okay, Moose, let's go to the source. Donald De La Haye, good enough to join us. And Donald, you were a walk-on to the team. You earned a scholarship to play Division I football. So what was your reaction when your school came to you and said you're in violation of an NCAA bylaw?
I mean, I was in extreme shock because, if anything, I thought I was spreading positivity, bringing good reputation and a good name to the school. But, I mean, I guess violating rules and whatnot wasn't a good thing under their eyes.
Donald, you know, you could be facing possible suspension. If you had to pick between football and YouTube, what would you choose?
I mean, I still feel like if I was suspended, my doors would still be open to chase the NFL in the end. But I just feel like a kid shouldn't be forced to pick between his two passions and his two loves. So, I mean, I could still chase the NFL in the future if that was to come down to it. I hope not, but hopefully things get figured out.
Okay, so let's talk about the game plan here. Are you trying to push back on the rule? Is anyone going to help you going up against a fight of this behemoth of the NCAA?
Yeah, I mean, so far it feels like a David and Goliath type of fight. I mean, I really don't have any help right now. I'm just a 20-year-old. I don't have access to much sources and whatnot, but I feel like it's about time for things to be changed. It's 2017, the era of social media, a lot of things are changing. And the time these rules were made weren't really up to par with what's going on in the real world today. So maybe it is time for someone to actually try to fight back.
You know, and good luck in fighting that fight. When you look at it, Donald, do you look at this rule as being fair to the NCAA athlete?
I really don't think so, because they're allowed to profit off of my name and my likeness. And when I try to promote my own brand and try to spread positivity and inspire and whatnot, I'm in the wrongdoing. But they can promote me as much as they want and have no problem with it.
Now, there's an irony here that you are a marketing major. You are essentially using the skills that you are learning as part of your UCF education, and you could possibly lose your scholarship because of it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It's extremely crazy. Like, I guess the epitome of a college student, college athlete, they want us to use our education to better ourselves in life, and I'm trying to do that and take things beyond football, because of course there's more to life than football, and I'm not even allowed to do that. It's just mind-blowing, honestly.
You know, Don, listen, I'm not a YouTube star like you are, right? So I just got a quick question for you. How much money are we talking about? I mean, you have a tremendous following. The videos are fantastic, hysterical. You do a great job of promoting and educating. How much money are we talking about here?
I mean, it's not a lot. It's minimal, but the potential that YouTube has, I don't know if you're aware or not, but YouTube takes care of people. There's people driving foreign cars, Lamborghinis, and all types of things. And, I mean, I have inspirations of one day taking care of myself and my family, and I thought that was the way out if the NFL wasn't supposed to work. But like I said, I guess it's wrong. I'm in the wrong here, according to some people.
No, you're not. And we appreciate you giving us a couple minutes this morning, Donald, and thank you.
No problem, no problem, no problem. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Interesting, Maggie, when you look at it. And, you know, this is a case, and he's absolutely right. There needs to be an adjustment here by the NCAA and the rules, because everything has changed in our society.
Absolutely. And, you know, what he's doing, I'm always in favor of the Olympic model. If you can go out there and you can get, you know, outside advertising endorsements while you're still in college, that's not the college paying you. That's capitalizing on your popularity at the time when it potentially could be its highest. We hope that Donald makes it to the NFL, but if he doesn't, he has his moment now where he can build his following. I don't think that the NCAA should be able to get in the way of that.
And continue to work on that brand. How about Dodgers outfielder Yasiel Puig? Hit his 10th homer last night in Cleveland. That's not the story. What happened after crossing home plate, he gave the double bird, the double middle finger, to Indians fans sitting behind home plate. Maggie, big deal or not a big deal?
Yeah. I guess my polite self, if my mom's here, I should say that's a big deal, because you really can't be flipping people off. But I guess add Puig to the long list of athletes who have flipped off fans.
That picture is tremendous.
I know, the fact that we had to blur it out is amazing. I don't think it's a big deal, though. I mean, it's not screaming, cussing. It's like the lowest form of, you know, bad, you know, communication that you can.
Well, right. It's like someone driving up the West Side Highway. They cut you off. What are you going to do? Honk the horn and give the bird. I mean, that is exactly what the reaction is. So if someone's going to go out there and say something to you when you're warming up, getting ready to get into the batter's box, and you go out there and hit an opposite field home run, you know what? You shove it right back in their face, and that is exactly what Yasiel Puig did. Now the big question is, we've got Puig and you've got Mr. Met. Who was more justified in flipping the bird? Was it Puig or the Mets mascot?
I mean, it's got to be Mr. Met, right? I'll take that one off your hands. I think it's going to be Mr. Met. I think it's going to be Mr. Met. I think that it's hard for me to get behind Mr. Met on this one, because it's like flipping off the home crowd. But I only imagine, knowing Mets fans, I am a Mets fan, I'm sure that what was said was probably pretty blue and pretty bad. So I guess I'll take Mr. Met on this one.
Yeah, I'll take Puig on that. You took me off the hot seat on that one, Maggie. I appreciate that. Now you look at the fans. You go to the ballpark, right? You pay your hard-earned money. You know, are fans to blame when you look at the reactions, whether it be the mascot, whether it be the player? I mean, you can say certainly some things. There are a lot of things that are out of line that you can't go out there and say. And I do think fans at times push that boundary, especially when there's abuse of drinking and everything like that, where they go out there and say things that they really shouldn't be saying, and then they draw the reaction.
Yeah, you know, I just honestly think that you do buy a ticket, and I understand people paying a lot of money for these tickets, and they feel entitled to say whatever they want, or they feel like, I think it's because athletes now make so much money, they just seem like there's such a big divide between the regular guy and an athlete. You know, when athletes say things like, well, even if I lose, I wake up tomorrow and I'm still me, and I still have this great life. I think it makes fans start to look at them sideways and feel like they're like they can say anything to them, and that these guys are made out of absolute Teflon, and that's just not true.
No, it's not true. And especially when you look at Twitter, when you look at Facebook, people have the they feel like they can go out there and say anything to anybody at any time, and there's no retribution and there's no pushback whatsoever, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like from online trolling now becomes in person, and that's where you get a bad mix.
Agreed.
Okay. For some reason, Moose,
right,
the world is really in love with Ben McAdoo. And by in love, I'm not talking about his play calling as the head coach of the New York Giants or how he's dealing with his players. It's about his appearance. Well, he's got a new haircut.
He does.
And the internet went crazy with it. Here is a look at what people online had to say about Coach McAdoo's new look. It's like we can see through McAdoo's soul, you know, through some of these tweets. But is this haircut an upgrade for the coach?
Well, it is. I mean, he had the altar boy haircut before. I mean, honestly, we're going back to 1950s, a church in New York City. I mean, that's the haircut he had before. So now he goes a little slick back, right? Maybe a little sleeker offense. Now you had Brandon Marshall in the offseason. So maybe he's setting a tone for the entire Giants team moving forward. He needed to do something, Maggie, because everyone, whether it be the oversized suits or whether it be the haircuts, everyone is enamored because he looks very, very uncomfortable. I mean, look at that suit.
It started at all, the mustache. It would be funny if he starts changing plays. You mentioned the slick offense now.
Exactly.
Instead of like a Y2 banana, is it called like the pomade?
Right.
You know, that's a fade if you didn't know what the pomade was. All right, let's keep the football conversation going. Earlier this week, I caught up with former MVP Drew Brees to get his thoughts on the Saints, adding Adrian Peterson and so much more. My next guest is a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler. He's entering his 17th year in the NFL. Drew Brees, good enough to join us. We're going to talk about exertional heat stroke in just a moment, Drew, but got to get your thoughts on some new acquisitions for the Saints. The team adds Adrian Peterson to pair with Mark Ingram, adds a couple offensive linemen to boot. It appears that the front office is attempting to take all of the burden off of your shoulders, as it seems like it has been in the past. How much would you welcome a more balanced offensive attack?
Well, whatever it takes to win. Obviously, the addition of Adrian Peterson was huge, unexpected. But he will definitely add a really physical element to our run game, which, I believe, the complement of him and Mark Ingram will allow us to be extremely versatile. Mark, in my opinion, is one of the best all-purpose backs in the league. I think over the last few years, we're excited about continuing to evolve our offense.
What type of competition do you expect between Peterson and Ingram?
Well, there's always competition, but I think it's in a healthy way. We're pushing each other to be the best that we can be, and we understand it's not one against the other. In fact, the complement of both of those guys is one that will do nothing but motivate, but also, allow each one of them when they are in the game to be fresh and ready to carry the load.
The team did not draft or sign a quarterback, nor did they sign a backup who would compete with you. So what did that signal to you?
Well, my relationship with Sean Payton and with the organization, I understand that I'm never taking anything for granted. I understand I got to prove it every year, regardless of if I'm 25 years old or 38 years old, like I am. I think there's always an inner competition, I guess, is maybe the best way to phrase it. I'm always pushing myself. I've got confidence in my ability to lead this team, and I feel like my team has the confidence in me as well.
Drew, because you are playing out the last year of your contract, I have to ask you, is this more about betting on yourself, or is it about flexibility and freedom after the season?
Yeah, I want the intention to be about this season, and not about anything else. I foresee myself playing for a number of more years, but I don't want to take that for granted either. And so it's all about this season. It's all about what we can accomplish as a team right here, right now.
Okay, moving on. The Saints have played the Atlanta Falcons 95 times in their history, more than any other team in the NFL. The rivalry is strong between the two teams. So with that in mind, Drew, what was it like to watch Atlanta blow a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl?
They are a very good football team, and they had a great year last year. I think Matt Ryan, the defending league's MVP, certainly deserved that honor. This league is very competitive, though, and when you've got a guy like Tom Brady and the New England Patriots on the other side of the ball, you know that it's going to be a 4-quarter game. It's going to go down the wire. Well, I say 4-quarter game. Obviously, it ended up being a 5-quarter game, but that's the way it is in this league. It's highly competitive, and no game is over till it's over.
You're going to host the Patriots this season. We're looking forward to that. Brady wins his 5th ring because of that Super Bowl. Do you consider him the greatest quarterback of all time?
Oh, he's certainly in the conversation, and he might be. I think, each era brought a different set of challenges, and each era kind of stands alone. Otto Graham won, I think, 10 NFL championships, so if we're just going off championships, would we say that Otto Graham was the greatest quarterback to ever play the game? To think what Tom Brady has done consistently year in and year out, the level that he's played at has just been so consistent. And as far as just the broader picture of the quarterback position in this league throughout its history, I think there's a lot of guys that you could say are in that category.
Sure. This offseason has been a good one, at least publicly, for the commissioner, Roger Goodell. He's being applauded for involving the players in relaxing the rules on touchdown celebrations. You and the commissioner, not a lot of love lost there for many years. Is the perception of the commissioner changing amongst the players?
I think at the end of the day, you just hope that, all sides are able to come together and, make decisions that are in the best interest of the future of the league and the safety of the players playing the game. I think the celebration rule is great because at the end of the day, what are we trying to promote as a league? Are we trying to promote individuality, or are we trying to promote teamwork? And so the ability to celebrate with teammates, that's the way it should be. That was kind of a long-winded way to say that, I think that all these rules and changes are typically in the best interests of, the league and players moving forward.
Drew, let's talk about the Heat Factor. It's an educational program in partnership with Eagle Pharmaceuticals that aims at raising awareness and sparking conversation about exertional heat stroke, EHS. Describe to us why this is so important, especially at this time of year.
Well, this is an extremely important campaign. As kids get out of school, they enter into the hot and humid summer months. As I know, it's hot and humid up in New York right now, and there's this heat wave moving across the country. So I think the timing is perfect for this. It's important that parents, teachers, coaches, administrators, all the people that are in and around our young people understand what EHS is and how we can combat it. EHS is exertional heat stroke, and we've put together a series of educational videos to raise awareness for the signs and symptoms of EHS and how to combat it. People can go to theheatfactor.com to watch these videos. In the case of an EHS emergency, temperatures in your body are rising above 104 degrees. Major organ damage could be caused and even death. So the more that we can be aware, understand the signs and symptoms, and then what to do in the event of an EHS emergency, we can save lives.
Drew, that's fantastic. Last one, yes, no. Do you think Colin Kaepernick will be signed before training camp begins?
I think he will. If not before training camp, then before the season. He's a quarterback who's got a lot of experience and played at a high level for a number of years. So you know that there's teams out there that could use a guy like that.
Drew Brees, of course, he's a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. Drew, always appreciate your perspective on things. And of course, we're going to make sure that we check out exertional heat stroke. We're going to, exertional heat stroke and get all the information about it and make sure that us and our loved ones are protected. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cavs fans probably aren't happy that their team lost in 5 games. But guess what? They should be, because it reveals the truth. Cavaliers are not constructed to beat the Golden State Warriors. Now they can try to win one more or wait for an injury, but you might have 2 more years of peak LeBron James. He needs more help, and he needs it now, and you know how he operates. If he doesn't get it here in Cleveland, he's going to go somewhere else. If you don't have a number 23 on your back in Cleveland, you should be nervous. Kevin Love, great playoffs, you're gone. Kyrie Irving, I think you're one of the best players in the NBA, but I don't think you're the right guy. Tristan Thompson, we may be stuck with your contract, but maybe we'll get lucky. J.R. Smith, I don't know how we'll ever get rid of your deal, but we're going to try. Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, your podcast is awesome. I'd love to come on sometime, but you can't play basketball in Cleveland anymore. Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, you guys are renting anyway. This is no big deal. It's time to get more modern. That means no Carmelo Anthony, no Boogie Cousins. I'm looking at 6'6" guys who could guard multiple positions and play offense. You might say Kawhi Leonard types. Now, there's only one Kawhi, but I'll take guys like the Celtics' Avery Bradley. How about we get back Andrew Wiggins, who we gave up for Love in the first place? We could take the Paul George headache off the Pacers' hands. Now, he might end up in LA, but remember, LeBron's window is shrinking. Am I aiming too high? I'll also take guys like Marcus Smart from the Celtics or Wilson Chandler. Long, versatile guys who play team basketball. The point is, don't stand pat. LeBron isn't going to be a LeBron forever. And by the way, Kyrie for Paul George works. I'm just saying, Cavs and Pacers. I know, might be far-fetched, but it works.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Moose, considering you are a Yankee fan, right. I know you saw this story about Landis Sims. He's an 11-year-old who tossed out the ceremonial first pitch at Yankee Stadium on Sunday. Now, Landis is a quadruple amputee who, despite having no hands or legs, is a 3-sport athlete and a diehard Yankee fan. Landis and his mother, Amanda, were on a whirlwind tour of New York City, and they stopped by our studio. All right, take us back to the beginning. You're walking out onto the field at Yankee Stadium. What's going through your mind?
Well, just seeing what I was going to say to the pitcher. Because I'm a Louisville fan, and he went to Louisville.
So were you nervous at all?
Not really.
Okay, so you just block out all the noise, but you also practiced for this occasion, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want to be caught, practice makes perfect. How much effort did you put into, before you got to Yankee Stadium, making sure you were going to nail this one?
Not much. I mean, we threw like one day from the major league distance, but that's really all.
That's just fantastic. And Amanda, for you, I mean, when you have thousands on their feet applauding your son, what does that feel like as a mother?
It's a very overwhelming feeling, and just, to listen then to also what they were saying, kind of going through his story of, since he's been 2 years old and how he's loved the Yankees and just loved baseball, and really kind of see all of his hard work and everything that we've put into, him being able to throw a pitch like that. And where he says he practiced for one day, that doesn't put into all the throws we have done over the years and, all of baseball season this year that he's prepared. And then to just see everybody get to recognize him and see where that's come to at this point. It's just very overwhelming. And, I'm so thankful for the Yankees. I mean, they are just such a wonderful organization and have been so good to him.
We know you're such a big Yankee fan. Who are some of your favorite Yankees and why?
Well, Derek Jeter, because, who doesn't like him?
It's Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
He's the captain.
Aaron Judge, because he's just amazing.
You said before you were able to block out the fears of throwing out that first pitch and block out the noise maybe of people who are doubting. When you are meeting these Yankees, what are some of the things that they're saying to you? What are the words of encouragement they're giving you so that you can keep going?
Well, it's more just, it's not as much encouragement. It's more just kind of just hanging out like you're just friends.
Unbelievable. When you see these Yankee players around your son, he says, just hanging out, just one of the guys. What does that do for you?
It's brings tears to my eyes, really. Just to see him just kind of taken in by these professional athletes that really know what it is like to work hard and to succeed in a sport. And like when he was warming up yesterday, the catcher that was warming him up, turned around and was just like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do that. And, just because they're the best at what they do. And to look at him and be like, he is such an inspiration. is just very overwhelming as a parent.
Okay, I mentioned the gala on Tuesday. This is for the Challenged Athletes Foundation, what they've been able to do. $80 million over thousands of charities and people in need. Did you know that? $80 million.
I didn't know that much.
You're going to be there and representing Challenge Athletes Foundation. What are you looking forward to the most about this New York City soiree?
Food.
Nice. I'm assuming the spread's going to be pretty good, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly going to be healthy though, so that might not be as fine. But
something tells me there's going to be plenty of desserts there. You're going to be able to find a way to find something sweet. What about for you, Amanda? Looking forward to this, which is, I'm sure, going to be an overwhelming room. Over 1,000 people could be there. Oh, what are you thinking about this night?
Absolutely. I just look forward to just being able to be there and just be a part of it. It's amazing what they do as an organization, and to, you know, his aspirations are to continue to play sports, and, you know, to have an organization like that to be able to help us with anything that he may need as far as paying for the adaptations, because that's not covered by insurance. Just to be a part of that, I just am really looking forward to it, and being able to thank people for supporting this organization and supporting my son in that. So
that's just fantastic. Of course, if you want to go to donatechallengeathletes.org is where you can find more information. I'm excited for you guys for this fantastic gala that you're going to go to. I hope you get plenty of great food. Yeah. Although I have a really good hunch that you're going to. It's the 11th annual Heroes Heart and Hope Gala. Just fantastic. Landis and Amanda, thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your whirlwind tour through New York City.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moose, I got a chance to go to that gala last night, and can I just underscore something that Amanda said that I think really needs to be reiterated? When you have a prosthesis or something that enables you to compete in sports, that is not covered by insurance. That is considered a luxury item. Yes, these prostheses can run $20,000 per leg or per arm in some cases. And for a growing child like Landis, it's like buying a kid a new pair of shoes. They outgrow them. You have to keep, you know, moving these models up and continuing to change them. So if I could just underscore just how important that is. And for Challenge Athletes, now over $90 million they've raised. They give grants out to people across the country. I got to meet a lot of them last night. I mean, inspiration is almost an understatement when you see just how good the spirit is.
Right, the spirit, the ability to overcome, to continue to fight. I mean, there's so much to take away, and what they overcome and what they battle through each and every day just to do different things over the course of life. It really is remarkable. I mean, that was a wonderful interview with Landis and his mom and everything, and it's a great foundation, but you're absolutely right. That needs to change. We need to help take care of people better.
And despite that, I mean, all smiles in the room. Yeah. The most positive room of 1,000 people that I've ever been in my entire life. So it was really my pleasure to be able to do that. Moose, thank you so much.
Thanks
You're the
for
best. I love seeing you during the week. This never happens.
Usually it's Saturday mornings.
Check us out. We're on the radio Saturday mornings on CBS. It's the Moose and Maggie Show. Moose is fantastic. Thank you. We will see you tomorrow. 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time is where to find us. And of course, SI.com is where you can go for all your latest news and headlines. And follow us on Twitter at SI Now Live. See you tomorrow.